So I'm around at my mum's at the moment. It is Sunday. We're having a roast dinner. My mum's cooking a roast dinner basically. And yeah, cracking weather for a little walk. Walk and talk, episode 27. So I'm just walking down to the seafront, but a slightly different part of the seafront. They're near a Warblington end. Got low battery, so I have to see how long the battery lasts. But it's nice to get out for a walk. Really nice actually. And I wanted to make this video about 2020. I mean, what a year. October 2020. Where are we? Where are we at? Well, there's 2.5 months left of possibly maybe one of the strangest years ever. I started off the year living in London with an amazing flatmate, and in just a few short months it just all came tumbling down for me. It's been quite the reckoning. I had a breakdown for one thing in March. My flatmate moved out of my house. Then I moved out of the house. Yeah, so then I moved out of London and living back at my dad's place during lockdown in April and May. And now just trying to find my feet really. I never thought I'd be living back here so soon. Boy, should we cross here? Let's cross here. Let's go for a quick jog, get the blood going. Yeah, so we started off the year with a mental breakdown, and we're going to end the year, well, in hopefully a lot better place. So I spent 4 weeks in Lewisham Hospital under a section due to my OCD, which kind of led to what's called non-organic psychosis. And I mean, it was a hell of an experience. I had my family there, my friends to support me, which made all the difference. And it was seriously eye-opening experience. People from all different walks of life in there. There was about 15 people on the ward that I was on. And to see some people there for sometimes months, 3, 4, 5, people there up to 6 months because they didn't have accommodation to go to, nowhere to go, so they had to wait to be like granted accommodation. And that was nuts in itself. This is actually where I learned to drive. I used to have a Mini. Technically I've still got the Mini, but it's just not working. Yeah, my dad took me down here. Oh, we're coming to it in a minute. 2 of us in a little Mini, 1977 Austin Mini, brown, called Berry. But learning to drive a Mini was a great experience. It was a great learning curve to learn how to drive an old car. Because I was learning in a Corsa, a modern Vauxhall Corsa, with my instructor. But then I'll be going out every evening with my dad in the Mini. I mean, and it was like just to change gear, going from the Corsa gearbox to the Mini gearbox. I used to get an ache in my left arm because it was so hard to shift the gears at first. It was a real pain. But it soon got easier, and I loved driving the Mini. I drove the Mini for about 2 years before it broke properly. One of the bolts in the engine that holds the engine together kind of snapped one day. Oil then just like came spilling out and sat on the engine, smoke and stuff like that. And then a friend let me borrow his car, and that was it. I never went back to the Mini. Quite a dangerous car, to be honest, though. I mean, it was like a tin can. I'll make a vlog entry on. I'll go and show you the Mini. It sat on a friend of a friend's driveway, just collecting rust. Bit of a shame. But yeah, It was like Road to Perdition. I don't know if you've ever seen Road to Perdition.
5 miles an hour.
Where the kids driving the car, learning to drive the car. No, it was like that. Where were we? We were talking about, oh gosh, what it was like on the ward life. Oh, it was an experience. It was so noisy. Really hard to get rest in the evening. You have to use earplugs because there's people up all night, people up shouting, people moving around, doors slamming. This guy opposite me was really irate and he ripped his door off the hinges one day. He was just so angry at being in the ward that he was kind of getting really aggressive towards the staff. And they were trying to calm him down, and then one day he just ripped the door right off the hinges. He was right opposite me, and he said to me, he came to me one day and said, on his first day, he said, "Look, if anything goes missing from my room, I know it was you." And I was like, I'm no thief. Like I said, one hell of an experience. Battery seems to be holding in there. Right there, put it right there, right there. Right there, right there. Yeah, it was an awakening on the ward. And I've kind of going in between struggling with OCD and then not struggling with OCD, and at the beginning of this year it was just at an all-time high. But it coincided with lockdown, so I was really confused about what that meant, you know, like seeing all these things like the Premier League stopping and not being able to go out. It just didn't seem like it was true. I was in there thinking this is some kind of spoof, that it was some kind of, like made up thing. I just didn't believe it. I was seeing Boris Johnson, I was seeing the newspaper headlines, but because I was on the ward, not able to leave at that time, the first 2 weeks I wasn't allowed to go out, apart from going in the communal garden. Just cutting through Warblington Cemetery. So I was saying, I'm feeling a lot better now. 6.5 months on from that period of my life. Wow. Yeah, so like I was saying, I was in the ward. Lockdown happened whilst I was in there. I was in there from 13th of March till the 8th of April. So right in the heart of the lockdown. May just lie here for a minute. Stop here. Anyway, what's this year been like for you? Feel free to leave messages. If you've also had a topsy-turvy year, what has it been like for you? I'm pretty glad that there's only 2.5 months left. Yes, I'm nearly back. That was my walk and talk. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be back in Southsea, going for the swim. And yes. Alright, see you tomorrow.